Dear students, in a previous class we discussed about bimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction. That means about SN2 reaction. In that class we discussed about reaction mechanism, kinetics, energy profile diagram and also the stereochemistry of SN2 reaction. Today we are going to discuss about the factors that are affecting reactivity of SN2 reaction of alkyl halides. So let us know more about what are the factors affecting reactivity in SN2 reactions of alkyl halides. Here you can see the general SN2 mechanism for the hydrolysis of an alkyl halide. This is an alkyl halide, that is substrate. This is the nucleophile hydroxide ion OH-. So on hydrolysis of this alkyl halide by using the nucleophile OH-, first we will get a transition state. Then we will get the final product, that is the alcohol, by breaking of the leaving group. So this is the slow step, that means the rate determining step. So the factors that are present in the rate determining step affects the reactivity of SN2 reaction. So here you can see the factors are the substrate, that is alkyl halide, and the nucleophile. Then one more factor is the solvent also affects the reactivity of SN2 reactions. So those factors that are present in the rate determining step affects the reactivity of SN2 reaction. So first one is the nature of substrate. Here the alkyl halide is the substrate. So substrate itself contains two parts. One is the alkyl part, alkyl group part, and other one is the leaving group. So first factor is nature of the substrate. The substrate itself contains two parts. One is the alkyl group, other part is the leaving group. So nature of the alkyl group, that is steric effects. Steric effects means the effects due to the size of the group or atoms. The relative reactivities of alkyl halides in an SN2 reaction are found to be in the order. So when we consider the reactivities of different types of alkyl halides in an SN2 reaction, it follows the following order: methyl halide greater than primary alkyl halide, then greater than tertiary alkyl halide, secondary alkyl halide greater than tertiary alkyl halide. So SN2 reactivity decreases in the order. Example for this reactivity: methyl halide, then ethyl halide, then isopropyl halide, then tertiary butyl halide. This is the order of SN2 reactivity. That means in the first case the carbon is attached to only hydrogen atoms. Here you can see only hydrogen atoms are present in this case. So nucleophile can easily attack from the back side. In this case, this carbon, the leaving group attached to carbon, is attached to two hydrogen atoms and one methyl group. So one methyl group is the steric effect will be there when nucleophile attacks from the back side. So the reactivity decreases again. Then in this case, two methyl groups are there and one hydrogen atom. So when nucleophile attacks from the back side, two methyl groups will be there and one hydrogen. So there will be steric crowding due to the methyl group when the nucleophile attacks from the back side. Again, when the number of alkyl groups increases, the reactivity decreases in SN2 reaction. The above general reactivity order can be explained on the basis of steric factors. That means when the number of alkyl groups increases, the steric crowding for the attacking of nucleophile from the backside increases. Steric crowding due to these groups increases when the number of alkyl group increases. SN2 reaction proceeds via the backside attack of the nucleophile on the alkyl halide to yield a transition state. So SN2 reaction always involve the formation of a transition state by the backside attack of the nucleophile. Here you can see the transition state when nucleophile attacks from the backside. This is the nucleophile, this is the leaving group. So a partial bond forms with both the nucleophile, incoming nucleophile and the leaving group. So finally we will get the product alcohol by breaking the bond between the leaving group and the carbon. Here is the explanation for the decrease in the activity of different types of alkyl halide. So this is the general mechanism for the hydrolysis of alkyl halide. If the methyl group, the methyl group, that means R dash and R double dash. In this case, all the R's are H. That means if this is a methyl halide, offers virtually no steric hindrance to the backside approach of the OH minus, and hence a methyl halide readily undergoes a SN2 reaction. So if all the R's are H, that means if this is a methyl halide, then the incoming nucleophile can easily attack with no steric hindrance. So methyl halide readily undergoes nucleophile substitution reaction by SN2 mechanism. Then steric hindrance increases with increasing number of alkyl groups, replacing hydrogen and getting attached to the stereocentral carbon in the halide. So steric hindrance increases with increasing the number of alkyl groups. That means if we replace the one of the hydrogen by an alkyl group, then steric hindrance increases. So when the incoming nucleophile approaches, the steric crowding effect of the alkyl group hinders the attack of the incoming nucleophile. So with increase in the number of alkyl group, steric hindrance increases. Therefore, the SN2 reactivity correspondingly decreases. Thus, SN2 reactivities of ethyl halide and higher primary halides with one alkyl group attached to the stereocentral carbon are therefore less than that of the methyl halide. So, in the case of ethyl halide, one hydrogen is replaced by CH3 group. Then other two hydrogens are groups are hydrogen atoms, CH3, CH2X. So one hydrogen is replaced by an alkyl group. So the steric crowding increases, the SN2 reactivity correspondingly decreases. Then secondary alkyl halides with two alkyl groups show still lower reactivity due to greater steric hindrance. So when there is secondary alkyl halide, that means there are two alkyl groups and one hydrogen, R2CHX. So due to the steric hindrance of the two alkyl groups, the incoming nucleophile can approach very slowly, so the reactivity decreases for secondary alkyl halide compared to primary alkyl halide. Then steric crowding in tertiary halides is so great that they are unable to undergo SN2 reactions. So in the case of tertiary halide, that means all the hydrogens in methyl halides are replaced by alkyl group. That means R3CX. R3CX is an example for tertiary halide. So in that case, the steric crowding increases very high. So the incoming nucleophile cannot approach the alkyl halide from the backside. So the reactivity towards SN2 reaction decreases correspondingly. This is the reason for the slow reactivity when hydrogen atoms in methyl halide is replaced by alkyl groups. So tertiary halides are having very low reactivity towards SN2 reaction, whereas methyl halide is having high reactivity towards SN2 reaction. We have already seen that SN2 reactivity of alkyl halides decreases with increasing the number of alkyl groups on which the halogen is attached. Similarly, the SN2 reactivity of alkyl halide decreases with increasing the size of the alkyl group. That means the steric hindrance offered to the nucleophile attack increases also with an increase in the size of the alkyl group on the stereo central carbon atom. That means with increase in the size of the alkyl group on which the halogen is, with increase in the size of the alkyl group on the stereo central carbon atom on which the halogen is attached, the SN2 reactivity correspondingly decreases. Here you can see this is a N-propyl halide, this is ethyl halide. So N-propyl halide has an ethyl group attached to the carbon atom to which the halogen is attached, whereas in an ethyl halide the group attached is methyl, which is smaller than the ethyl group. So here you can see in propyl halide the ethyl group is attached on the carbon atom to which the halogen is attached. So on this carbon atom the nucleophile, incoming nucleophile attacks. So there is a large ethyl group. In this case here you can see on this carbon the leaving group is attached and 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 methyl group. Smaller methyl group is attached. So incoming nucleophile can attack on this carbon atom very easily compared to this carbon atom. Here we have one ethyl group, that is larger group compared to the methyl group. So SN2 reaction is easily possible with ethyl halide compared to N-propyl halide because of the large ethyl group present on this carbon atom compared to small methyl group present on the carbon atom. So with increasing the size of the alkyl group, the SN2 reactivity correspondingly decreases. Hence N-propyl halide offers more steric hindrance than ethyl halide to the incoming nucleophile. Thus, the SN2 reactivity of N-propyl halide is less than that of ethyl halide. So, two factors that depends on the nature of the substrate. One is the number of alkyl groups. With increase in the number of alkyl groups on which the leaving group is attached, the SN2 reactivity decreases. Similarly, with increase in the with increase in the size of the alkyl group, the SN2 reactivity decreases correspondingly. So, tertiary alkyl halides are having low SN2 reactivity compared to primary alkyl halide and methyl halide. Then N-propyl halide or higher halides are having low SN2 reactivity compared to lower alkyl halide. That means with increase in the chain length or size of the alkyl group, SN2 reactivity decreases due to the steric effect of the larger alkyl group. Another important factor that affects the SN2 reactivity of nucleophile substitution reaction. SN2 reactivity of alkyl halides, that is the nature of the leaving group. An important aspect regarding the leaving group of SN reactions, nucleophile substitution reaction, is that the weaker the basicity of the group, the better is its leaving ability. This is because the weaker the base, the weaker is its bond with the stereocentral carbon and the easier it is to break it. So one important factor is the weaker the basicity of the group, the better is its leaving ability. So the relative basities of the halide ions are in the order. We know that the relative acidity order of hydrogen halides is Hi greater than HBr greater than HCl and HCl, which in turn is greater than HF. So Hi is the strongest acid. So if Hi is the strongest acid, then its ion I minus, its conjugate base I minus ion will be the weak base. So here in this case the bond Hi bond is very weak, so it can dissociate very easily to provide H plus ion. So Hi is a strongest acid when compared to other hydrogen halides, whereas HF is the weakest acids among these hydrogen halides. So the conjugate base of this Hi, that is I minus, is very weak. So I minus is very weak base when compared to the other halide ion. So fluoride ion is the strong base. Basicity means the tendency to donate the electron pair, that is basicity. So I minus is having lower basicity, so it can leave the reaction medium very fast. That means the weaker the basicity of the group, better is its leaving ability. I minus is a weak base, so it can leave very easily. Hence the relative leaving abilities of the halide ions are in the order. Just reverse order of the basicity is the leaving ability of halide ions. I minus ion is having better leaving ability compared to bromide ion, which in turn is having greater leaving ability than chloride ion and fluoride ion. As a result, the relative reactivities of the alkyl halides in an SN2 reaction with a given nucleophile are in the order Ri greater than Rbr, Rcl, then Rf. So relative reactivity of alkyl halides in an SN2 reaction for a given nucleophile is in the order Ri is having greater reactivity towards SN2 reaction, because the leaving group here is iodide ion, so it can leave very easily because it is a weak base, so better leaving group. Weaker the basicity of the group, better is its leaving ability. So here we can see one nucleophile substitution reaction, that is OH minus on treating with methyl iodide. Iodide ion can easily replace by OH minus, strong nucleophile OH minus. So we will get CH3OH plus I minus, because I minus is a better leaving group, so it can easily replace by strong nucleophile OH minus. So weaker the basicity of the group, better is its leaving ability. In the case of halide ions, I minus is a better leaving group. Then another important factor that affects the SN2 reactivity of alkyl halides, that is the nature of nucleophile. Nucleophiles are Lewis bases that can donate electron pair, and all reactions of nucleophiles with electron deficient centers can be regarded as Lewis acid base reactions. So nucleophiles act as Lewis bases and they can provide electron pairs. In organic chemistry, we use two terms, basicity and nucleophilicity. They are distinctively employed. Basicity is a measure of how well a base shares its non-bonding electrons with a proton. But in the case of nucleophilicity, it is a measure of how well a nucleophile shares its non-bonding electrons with an electron deficient center other than a proton. So a base shares its non-bonding electrons with a proton, whereas a nucleophile shares its non-bonding electron with an electron deficient center. not with a proton. That is the difference between basicity and nucleophilicity. Then we can check what is the relation between basicity and nucleophilicity. Generally, there is a direct relationship between the two terms. That means between the nucleophilicity and basicity, because stronger bases are better nucleophiles. So when we consider closely related sets of species, such as those having the same attacking atom, for example HO minus, CH3O minus and NH2 minus respectively, are strong bases and better nucleophiles than H2O, CH3OH and NH3. In this case, OH minus is a better nucleophile compared to water. In both cases, the attacking the nucleophile center is oxygen atom, but this is having a negative charge, so it is a better nucleophile and stronger base compared to water. Similarly, CH3O minus is a better nucleophile and strong base compared to methanol. NH2 minus, in the case of NH2 minus, it is a better nucleophile and strong base compared to ammonia. So if there is a negative charge on the attacking atom, then that species is having higher nucleophilicity. Then similarly, we can arrange the nucleophiles containing the second period donor atoms, namely CH3 minus, NH2 minus, OH minus, F minus, in the following basicity order. CH3 minus is having higher basicity compared to NH2 minus, then OH minus, then comes F minus, which is also the order of relative nucleophilicity. So basicity order and relative nucleophilicity order are in the same manner. So here the attacking atom is attacking center is carbon. Then in the case of NH2 minus, attacking atom is nitrogen, then here oxygen, and then in the case of F minus, the attacking atom is fluorine. So the basicity order and nucleophilicity order are in the same way. The relative SN2 reactivities of different nucleophiles depend upon their nucleophilicity. So depending upon the nucleophilicity, we can determine the SN2 reactivities of different nucleophiles. So the greater the nucleophilicity of a nucleophile, the greater is its SN2 reactivity. So nucleophilicity depends upon the basicity. So greater the nucleophilicity, greater is its SN2 reactivity. For a given substrate, that means alkyl halide, the reactivities of nucleophiles increase in the order of their increasing nucleophilicities. So we can determine the SN2 reactivity of different nucleophiles depending upon the nucleophilicity of that nucleophile. So nucleophile is having a better role for determining the reactivity in SN2 reaction, because it is present in the rate determining step. Another important factor that affects the SN2 reactivity is nature of the solvent. There are two types of solvent. One is polar-protic solvent, other one is polar-aprotic solvent. In polar-protic solvent, they contain at least one hydrogen and capable of hydrogen bonding, like water. Here you can see water is capable of hydrogen bonding. So in polar-protic solvents like H2O, CH3OH, C2H5OH, negatively charged nucleophiles become solvated through ion dipole interactions. So in SN2 reaction or nucleophile substitution reaction by bimolecular mechanism, if we use a polar-protic solvents, that solvent will make a sheath per layer around the nucleophile. Here you can see, if we use a good nucleophile like this, sterically non-hindered nucleophile, And if we use a polar protic solvents that decrease the nucleophilicity by making the nucleophile sterically hindered. So we are using a good nucleophile that is sterically non-hindered. But when we use a polar protic solvent like water, it makes hydrogen bonding with that nucleophile and makes it a weak nucleophile. That means the nucleophilicity is weakly exposed to the substrate. That means this negatively charged is weakly exposed to the substrate alkyl halide because of the steric hindrance of this sheath of the polar protic solvents. A sheath of solvent around the nucleophile obviously decreases its nucleophilicity and thereby its reactivity in SN2 reactions. So it will act as a weak nucleophile when we use a polar protic solvents because of the formation of a sheath of the solvent around it. Thus polar protic solvents tend to stabilize the reactants rather than the transition state in an SN2 reaction. So polar protic solvents can stabilize the reactants. One of the reactant is nucleophile. So it can stabilize by forming hydrogen bond with nucleophile. In other words, polar protic solvents slow down SN2 reactions. Since stronger bases interact more strongly than weaker bases with polar protic solvents, the effective nucleophilicities of stronger bases are affected more by such solvents. So if we use stronger nucleophile that can interact with the polar protic solvents, that will also affected by the polar protic solvents. Weak nucleophile and strong nucleophile are having the same effect when we use polar protic solvents because they form a sheath around the nucleophile. This sheath is due to the ion dipole interaction between the nucleophile and water. Ion dipole interaction means this is the nucleophile. Let's consider this Y minus ion is the nucleophile, that is the ion. Then dipole, this is the solvent water molecule. So this is having a dipole, two poles, positive pole and negative pole. So this interaction, ion dipole interaction, is the cause of the formation of this sheath of a solvent layer around the nucleophile. So what is ion dipole interaction? It is the result of an electrostatic interaction between a charged ion. Charged ion here, it is the nucleophile, and the interaction between a charged ion and a molecule that has a dipole. Here the solvent molecule acts as a dipole. So ion dipole interaction is the reason for the formation of a sheath of the solvent around the nucleophile. Then ion dipole interactions are absent when non-polar solvents like carbon tetrachloride, benzene are used. Then these interactions are less even when polar aprotic solvents like acetonitrile, CH3CN, dimethylformamide or DMF, CH3 twice and CHO, dimethyl sulfoxide, DMSO, CH3 twice SO are used. So there are non-polar solvents like carbon tetrachloride and benzene. If we use non-polar solvents like this, there will be no ion dipole interactions. And also if we use polar aprotic solvent means there will be no hydrogen atom for forming hydrogen bond. So in this case we have DMF, DMSO, acetonitrile as polar aprotic solvents. In that case also that there are no ion dipole interaction for nucleophile. Non-polar solvents and polar aprotic solvents do not solve with nucleophiles strongly. As a result, nucleophiles generally exhibit greater nucleophilicities and reactivities in such solvents. So when we use non-polar solvents and polar aprotic solvents, the nucleophiles do not solvate by the solvents. Nucleophiles do not solvate by the non-polar solvents and polar aprotic solvents. So they have the same nucleophilicity as they are in the original case. That means if we use NaCl as the nucleophile, that means Cl minus act as the nucleophile and its counter ion is Na plus. If we are using NaCl for providing the Cl minus as a nucleophile, only the cation part will solvate by the polar aprotic solvent. This is dimethyl sulfoxide, DMSO. So in the case of DMSO, it can solvate or form ion dipole interaction with Na plus ion. That means the cation, only the cation part is solvated by the polar aprotic solvents, but the nucleophile remain as such. It will not solvate by the polar aprotic solvent. This is polar aprotic solvent which will not form a sheath around the nucleophile, because this is negatively charged and this sulfur is also negatively charged. It cannot form a ion dipole interaction. Here the counter ion Na plus ion is having a positive charge, so it can form an ion dipole interaction with the oxygen atom. So no such bonding is possible for the nucleophile, so it will have the same nucleophilicity in the reaction. So if we use polar aprotic solvent, it can solvate the nucleophile and the nucleophilicity will decrease. But if we use polar aprotic solvent and non-polar solvent, it will not solvate the nucleophile, so nucleophilicity will remain as such. So far we discussed about the factors that affects SN2 reactivity. So what are the factors favoring SN2 reaction? An unhindered alkyl halide, preferably methyl or primary, but secondary may be possible. So usually methyl alkyl halide or any primary or sometimes secondary alkyl halide favors SN2 reaction, because SN2 reaction includes the backside attack of the incoming nucleophile. So larger the if the alkyl halide is secondary or tertiary, the steric hindrance will be very high. So the tendency for the alkyl halide for SN2 reaction will be high when it is primary or methyl, and sometimes in some cases for secondary alkyl halide also. Then another factor favoring SN2 reaction, that is a good leaving group, preferably I minus or Br minus. Good leaving group is I minus, because the relative basicity order for halide ion is I minus is having lower basicity compared to bromide ion, then chloride ion, then fluoride ion. So weaker the basicity, higher will be the leaving group. Higher will be the leaving ability. Weaker the basicity of the group, better will be the leaving ability of that particular group. So I minus is the good leaving group. Then another factor that favors SN2 reaction is strong nucleophile. If the nucleophile is very strong, then that favors SN2 reaction. Then another factor that is suitable solvent. Polar aprotic solvent is most effective for SN2 reaction. We discussed that, we already discussed that polar aprotic solvent do not favor SN2 reaction because it forms a sheath around the nucleophile. So nucleophile will not be very easily exposed to the substrate. So polar aprotic solvent, it will not form a sheath around the nucleophile. So it can increase the SN2 reactivity. Polar aprotic solvent is one factor. Another factor is strong nucleophile, then good leaving group, then alkyl halide, methyl or primary alkyl halide, or sometimes secondary alkyl halide favors SN2 reaction. So that's all about various factors that affect SN2 reactivity of alkyl halide. Thank you.